You walk into a room and you can just feel the tension, even if everyone is smiling. A friend tells you about their bad day, and suddenly their anxiety is sitting in your chest like a heavy, uninvited guest. You feel things so deeply that other people's sadness can leave you feeling drained for days. For your whole life, you have probably been told that this makes you an empath, that it is some kind of emotional superpower. But what if I told you that is not the whole story? What if that label, while it means well, is actually keeping you stuck in a cycle of emotional burnout? The problem is not that you are too sensitive. The problem is that you may have learned to absorb pain that is not yours to carry. The reason why has less to do with a mystical gift and more to do with the wiring of your brain and a survival pattern you might have picked up a long time ago. This is not balanced empathy. This is emotional absorption. And understanding the difference is the first step to finally getting your energy back. For years, maybe you have identified with the term empath. It just feels right, does it not? It explains why you are so tuned in to others, why you can sense what they are feeling without them saying a word, and why you feel a deep, almost compulsive need to help. People who are highly empathetic are usually seen as kind, considerate, and the first to help. And you are. Your compassion is genuine, and your care is real. But there is a downside to this that we do not always talk about. It is the feeling of being an emotional sponge. It is like walking through life with no filter, soaking up the emotional residue of every person you meet. This is more than just understanding someone's pain. It is internalizing it so much that their feelings become your feelings. You could be having a great day, but one phone call with a stressed-out family member leaves you feeling anxious and overwhelmed for no reason you can pinpoint. Or you feel completely wiped out after being in a crowd, not from talking to people, but from the sheer weight of all the invisible emotions you have taken on. And here is a crucial distinction. Healthy empathy says, I feel with you. I get that you are in pain, and I am here for you. Emotional absorption says, I feel as you. Your pain is now my pain. One fuels connection. The other leads straight to burnout. This constant absorption is not a strength. It is a drain. It leads to emotional exhaustion and feeling perpetually overwhelmed. You end up feeling drained by other people, but uncomfortable when you are alone, because your emotional state has become dependent on what everyone else is feeling. That is not sustainable. It is not a superpower. It is a vulnerability. And to fix it, we have to understand what is happening on a biological level. So what is really going on inside your brain? It starts with a natural phenomenon called emotional contagion. Emotional contagion is the automatic, often unconscious spread of emotions from one person to another. Think about how easily a yawn spreads through a room. Emotions can be just as contagious. This is a fundamental part of human social bonding that we are likely born with. A key part of this process involves something you may have heard of: mirror neurons. Discovered in the 1990s, these brain cells fire not only when you do something, but also when you see someone else do it. When you see someone smile or wince in pain, your mirror neurons help your brain simulate that feeling so you can understand it. This system is a cornerstone of how we learn, imitate, and connect with each other. However, empathy is more complex than just mirroring. For most people, there are other brain systems at play that act as a kind of psychological filter. Brain regions, like the right supramarginal gyrus, or RSMG, are believed to help us maintain a self-other distinction. A boundary that says, I am simulating this person's sadness to understand it, but it is not my sadness. It helps keep the mirrored emotion from being fully absorbed. But for someone who acts like an emotional sponge, that filter can feel weak or permeable. Your brain is like an open, unsecured Wi-Fi network, constantly downloading the emotional data of everyone around you. You do not just simulate their feelings. You adopt them. So, why might your filter be so permeable? The roots can often go back to your childhood. In some cases, this pattern is a learned survival mechanism. If a child grows up in an environment where their safety or comfort depends on being perfectly in tune with the caregiver's moods, they can become hyper-attuned. The child learns that if my parent is anxious, I must be anxious too. Or if they are unhappy, it is my job to fix it. In these situations, the nervous system learns to constantly scan the environment and sync up with others' emotions to feel safe and connected. You became an expert at reading micro-expressions and anticipating needs because you had to. This is not a flaw. It was a brilliant adaptation to your environment. But that survival skill can become a liability in adulthood. Your brain keeps running that old program that says, my connection to others depends on me feeling what they feel. So you see, you are not just an empath. You are a person with a highly active mirroring system combined with psychological boundaries that may have been shaped by your life experiences. This is the aha moment. It is not a mystical curse. It is a pattern of biology and psychology. And because it is a pattern, it can be changed. The goal is not to stop feeling. Your sensitivity is part of you. The goal is to stop absorbing. It is to move from being a sponge to being a container, able to hold space for others' emotions without letting them flood your own system. This is about cultivating what we might call wise compassion. Here are 4 practical strategies to help you build your shield. Step 1. Observe, do not absorb. The power of the question. The first and most critical step is to develop self-awareness. Right now, the absorption is probably happening automatically. You need to bring it into the light. A simple way to do this is a technique psychologists call name it to tame it. When you feel a sudden shift in your mood, pause and ask yourself one simple question. Is this feeling mine? That is it. Just ask, is this anxiety mine, or did I pick it up from my coworker? Is this gloominess mine, or is it left over from that sad story I just heard? This simple act of questioning creates a sliver of space between you and the emotion. It interrupts the automatic absorption. You are moving from being the emotion to observing the emotion. When you can name it and question where it came from, you start to see what is yours and what belongs to someone else. This is the first layer of your shield. Step 2. The glass wall visualization. Your mind is a powerful tool, and you can use visualization as a mental grounding technique. Many people find a method like the glass wall visualization to be helpful. When you are about to enter a situation you know might be emotionally draining, a tough meeting, a family dinner, even a crowded store, take a moment. Picture a thick, clear glass wall forming all around you. You can see and hear everything perfectly. You can understand the emotions on the other side. But they cannot get through the wall. Imagine a friend venting their anger to you. You can see their anger. You can acknowledge it and show you care. But with your glass wall up, the anger hits the glass and dissipates. It does not enter your space. It remains theirs to handle. This is not about being cold. It is about maintaining your own emotional center. It lets you care without being consumed. Step 3. The art of the compassionate no. People who absorb emotions often have a deep-seated fear of saying no. We worry it is selfish, that it will disappoint people, or that it will break the connection we work so hard to maintain. But no is not a word of rejection. It is a word of self-preservation. Think of it this way. Every yes to something that drains you is a no to your own well-being. Setting a boundary does not have to be a big, dramatic fight. It can be gentle but firm. When someone is emotionally dumping, try saying, I can hear how much you are struggling, and I want to be here for you. Right now, I do not have the emotional bandwidth to take this on fully. Can we talk in a bit after I've had some time to recharge? Setting a boundary honors both yourself and the other person. It teaches them that your resources are not infinite, and it allows you to show up more fully and authentically when you do have the energy to give. Step 4. Refill your own well. Finally, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are constantly leaking energy to others, you have to be absolutely committed to refilling it. This means prioritizing solitude and activities that ground you. Spending time alone is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the only way to be sure that the emotions you are feeling are actually your own. It lets your nervous system return to its baseline. Find activities that bring you back into your own body. This could be journaling, walking in nature, listening to music, or practicing mindfulness. Make a point to cultivate positive emotions by watching something that makes you laugh, or spending time with people who energize you, not drain you. This is not selfish. It is strategic. By keeping your own emotional well full, you become more resilient to the emotional states of others. You may have spent your entire life believing that being an emotional sponge was just who you are. An unchangeable trait, both a gift and a curse. But the truth is, it is often a learned pattern, reinforced by your own natural neurobiology. And what was learned can be unlearned. You do not have to stop being a deeply caring person. The world desperately needs your empathy. But it needs your wise empathy, not your depleted, burnt-out empathy. By learning to observe your feelings, visualize your boundaries, speak your truth, and recharge your energy, you can transform from an unconscious emotional sponge into a conscious, grounded empath. You can stop being a victim of the emotional currents around you and start becoming the calm center of your own life. You can care deeply without carrying everything. And in that space, you will find a strength and a freedom you never thought possible. What is one emotion you have realized you have been carrying that is not yours? Share your story in the comments below. Let us learn from each other on